Good morning. I'm Stacy. It's Friday Morning Live at the Stitching Post. We're glad you're here and joined us. I wanted to talk to you today about yo-yos. If you're not the kind that go up and down, it's the fabric yo-yos. If you're not familiar with yo-yos, I want you to see this quilt. It belongs to one of our customers, and she brought it in for us to share with you. It'll be in the display case out front if you want to get a closer look. This quilt is made from yo-yos. It's over 100 years old. So yo-yos have been around for a long time. I made them as a little girl with my grandmother, and we cut out cardboard circles. And if you remember, I had a clown made from yo-yos, its arms and legs, and it was really wobbly. It was fun. But now we have an easier way to make yo-yos, and it's with the Clover Yo-Yo Makers. They come in 5 sizes. You use them all in the same way. And if you're not sure what size to buy, there's a picture of the actual size of the yo-yo on the front of the package. So I'm going to show you how these work. The yo-yo maker comes in 2 pieces. Let me pop it apart here. So you have a flat plate and a little disc. If you look, the disc has ridges and it says Clover on the top side. I've cut a 5-inch piece of fabric, and I'm going to lay it right side down into the plate part of the yo-yo maker. Now, if you look on the outside, there are little ridges here, and I'm going to line up the ridge on the insert with the bump on the outside and just pop that into place. That will line up the indentions on the inside with the holes on the back side. Now I'm going to trim off some of this fabric and leave myself a little seam allowance. It doesn't have to be too terribly neat, but make sure you leave plenty. I found that smaller scissors are easier to use, but these are what I had handy. Okay, you want to make sure that you're using a thread that's strong enough you can pull on it to pull your yo-yo up tight in the center. Gutermann hand quilting thread is a good choice. It's already waxed if you happen to have this on hand. If not, I'm just using Metler, the Metricine. It's an all polyester thread. Make sure that you cut a length big enough to go all the way around your yo-yo and leave a little bit to pull on. So I've got this needle threaded. We'll cut it and tie a knot. Show you, this is a quilter's knot I learned. I just lay the needle across the thread on my finger, and wherever you have the needle crossing the end of the thread is where your knot will land. And pull it down to the end. So you can see there's my knot, and I can trim that up a bit. Just run your needle and thread through the product and pull it out, and it waxes it. It's not beeswax, it's a synthetic, but it really helps keep things from tangling, especially when you're using thread that's really too long. Okay, I'm going to start. If you see there's a little small shaped slot here. I'm going to go in on the right hand side. I'm going to start on the top and come out on the right hand side. The directions tell you to pull your thread up, your knot up tight. I found I have better results if I leave a little tail and just kind of hold it with my thumb. I'm going to go back in so my thread lays in that slot. Then come back out in the next hole. And I'm making sure that I've got my seam allowance turned to the inside. This is sort of like sewing cards when you were a kid. It can be fun. And I know my granddaughters have played with these yo-yo makers. So it's something a child could do and keep them occupied right now. Okay, so you're going to sew all the way around. And some of the common errors are make sure you don't lay your thread over the side and sew through the hole. You won't be able to get the middle out. And make sure your going from hole to hole and then skipping over, so you're not crossing threads over on the back. So I have this one. I've sewn it all the way around, and in the last hole I've oversewn. So it's sort of like a drawstring that in a pair of pants, you know, you pull for both sides. And there's a hole here. I'm going to pop this out and take the inside out. And then you can just pull this up. Have to kind of fiddle with it a bit. Get your seam allowance turned in. After you do a few, you'll figure out how much of a seam allowance you need. 1/4 inch or so is good. And I like to leave my thread long. I think I went through my thread. You don't want to do that. There you go. Hold my thread here. And if you've left that needle on your thread, you can use it to sew this yo-yo down to whatever project you're going to use it on. I tuck my thread. You want to tie a knot here to secure it. You can tuck the excess thread down inside, and this long length, I could sew it onto a project like these towels. Here's a little pumpkin and the turkey made with different size yo-yos. The jack-o'-lanterns. There are a lot of projects you can use yo-yos on. I thought this pillow pattern was cute. It's a bench pillow, looks like a flag, and in the field of stars they've used yo-yos. These are the little toys, similar to what I had as a kid. Their arms and legs are yo-yo strings. The little rabbit's cute. Clover's used the same concept. Well, I'm going to show you this gown though before I move on. Isn't that cute? Little snowman. They've used the same concept with other shapes. There are heart-shaped yo-yo makers and oval-shaped yo-yo makers. This one makes little butterflies. These would be cute attached to a child's garment. So lots you can do with yo-yos. So jump in, it's fun.